When I teach mindfulness, I speak about finding joy in each moment very, very frequently. I also speak about not searching frantically for the silver lining in situations that just feel like a cloud. Stormy situations do happen, and to be honest, we can all recall some situation in our life where we can't really think of any good portion of it. I volunteer teaching mindfulness at a grief center, and we often hear the phrase, everything happens for a reason, and I can tell you, nothing infuriates or hurts a griever who has just lost someone that they love more than everything happens for a reason, because sometimes we just can't find the reason why trauma, atrocities, terrible things happen. And I don't think we should. When I practice mindfulness and I talk about finding joy in each situation, what I'm really referring to is allowing space for joy and suffering to coexist at the same time. Every moment is infinitely large. Every moment allows space and has room for both joy and suffering. In many different degrees. Joy could be very small joy. It could be just the joy of taking a breath, knowing that each breath is a gift. Each breath is an honor. It means that we're alive. We breathe in and out all throughout the day. And sometimes we pay attention to it, and sometimes we don't. If we have a cold and we're congested, we tend to pay attention to breathing more. If we're holding our breath because we're underwater swimming, or maybe we're feeling the air very cold because the temperature is very low outside, so we can sense that the air is cold, maybe we pay attention just a little bit more. Sometimes there's environmental reasons why we pay attention to breath, like I just mentioned. I'm asking you to pay attention to each breath. Honor each breath and give it the gift of attention, because that's what each breath is. Each breath is a gift. When we approach each breath like this, as if it's a gift, something to be honored, something to cherish, a shift happens moment to moment. Things that seem boring don't seem so boring anymore. When we approach each breath with a sense of wonder, the mundane becomes alive. When the mundane becomes alive, situations that we find unpleasant, boring, repetitive, uncomfortable, all of a sudden don't seem so uncomfortable at all. We make room for joy and suffering with the mundane to both have space in any given moment. I speak about this cultivation of joy so often, and it starts with just paying attention to your breath. Breathe in like you're smelling a flower. Notice when inhale needs to transition to exhale, and blow all the air out through your mouth, feeling the oxygen exit your body as an exhale. The temperature, the texture. Experience this breath as if it's the first breath that you've ever taken. We are practicing allowing room for both joy and suffering, finding wonder in the mundane. Breathe in. And breathe out. Practice all throughout your day. Anytime there's the thought of, I don't want to do this, why do I have to go, how do I get out of it? Take a breath in and a breath out. Maybe do this 4 or 5 times and reevaluate your situation. See if it's just a story that your mind is telling you of being uncomfortable, or if there's really something toxic and unsafe in a situation that you're avoiding. There's a big difference between the two. So much of our day we find unpleasant or uncomfortable. But if we do a little bit of investigation, just by paying attention to breathing, we'll notice that there are some joys within these events. We'll notice that it's not 100% suffering. There's room for joy and suffering in any given moment. Mindfulness helps us to recognize the joy without having to frantically search for it. And we can do this, cultivate a state of joy, just by paying attention to our breath each day as frequently as possible. Enjoy the practice. I'm Angie Harris, and I'll see you next time.